Hello and welcome to Buy or Buy, the show where I take a game of my choosing, put it under a spotlight and tell you whether it's worth buying or saying goodbye to. And today we are focusing on Journey, the title that came out in 2012 I believe and it got remastered for the PS4 last year. But the reason I'm talking about it right now is because as of September 2016 it is a free PlayStation Plus title, so you can download it for free and everything like that, which may seem a bit silly doing a buy on it, but I'm going to look at it as the eyes of if you were purchasing it with actual money instead of getting it for free. So let's talk about it. Now, Journey is unique in the sense of back in the days of 2012, there was never a game like this that gave you so much atmosphere, and it's also sort of like the granddaddy of atmospheric, wordless video games. It's much like Super Mario 64 was to 3D platformers. This kind of paved the way for every other game company to do their own iteration of Journey. Much like Hyper Light Drifter must have taken inspiration from Journey and other titles like this, but this was the first game to do stuff like this, and at the time people were blown away by this game. And I've played it back in the day. I didn't think too much of it, and the hype kind of killed it for me, really. But as the years went on and it came available on the PlayStation Store for free, I thought I'd give it a try. The only thing I could lose really is time, and I was pleasantly surprised, but some of the issues that I still had with it remains the same, and here's why. Now, the story of Journey is basically you're this robed figure and you have to travel from point A to point B. Point A being the desert and point B being the top of the mountain. And that's basically it. They don't really give you much of a backstory of why you're here and who you are and why you're going to the top of the mountain in the first place. It's sort of sprinkled throughout the game of your lineage and your ancestors and stuff like that. But that's about it, really. So it's kind of from the get-go, it doesn't really give you a drive to find out what's going on and stuff like that, especially in a game like this. But I can see why it would hook some people into finding out why and wanting to know more about this. But it kind of, from my opinion personally, it just kind of turns me off at the very start of the game. But one of the biggest things I have to applaud this game for is its visual style and its soundtrack. It does a very good job of absorbing you into its world, especially if you have a good pair of headphones on too. It's one of those games where you can just sit back, relax, put a really good pair of headphones on whilst playing this game and let the world immerse you in its story and its world and stuff like that. And it does a very good job of doing that too. Another thing which is quite unique to this game, actually, I haven't seen this done in any other game that I know of, is it is a single player game to its heart, but as you go through the levels and all that, you will come across these other people playing the game the same time as you, and you won't see their gamer tag or you won't be able to talk to them with words or anything like that, but you'll solve puzzles together, and the only way you can communicate is by making these little chime sounds, which is very cool. You don't know who you're working with, but you know that you're going for one goal, is to get to the top of the mountain. You're both there for the same reason, and I feel like that is a really cool idea, and I don't know why it hasn't been done in any other game before after it. But I definitely did enjoy it, coming across these new characters that I was helping to get to the top of the mountain like me, and there's a great sense of teamwork here, and I really, really did like that. But this is where the game starts to fall apart in my eyes. There's no real replayability to this game. It only takes about 2 hours to complete. I did this in one sitting, and when you get to the top of the mountain, there is no real payoff. I'm not going to spoil what you find at the top of the mountain, but there is no real payoff and no real point to going to the top of the mountain, because it sends you straight back down to the start of the game, and it says, oh, would you like to start a new journey? And it basically is saying, would you like to do it all over again? And for 2 hours, for £12, because this was £12 before it became free on PSN, this is not really worth the money, if I'm honest with you. Yeah, it's good if you want to kill a couple of hours, and you did get this for free, of course, but I reckon a lot of people would have been mad if they spent £12 on this game just to spend a couple of hours completing it, and they go, what, is that it? Because there is no real replayability to this. I mean, don't get me wrong, this game is very impressive, especially for an indie title, and how well it's done in the past, but I do feel like it's only worth so much on the store as it is, like £12, because of the legacy that has attached to it. It's a good game if you want to spend a couple of hours killing time and you get it for a minimal price or even for free. But I would not say, but for the purpose of this show, I wouldn't say that it is worth £12. So as of, I'm going to say that it's not worth buying if it's £12, but definitely worth having a go if it's for free. If it's still September, as when you see this episode, and it's still free on the PSN, then by all means give it a little go. Give it some of your time, and you never know, you may be surprised, because there is some very good ideas being thrown around here in this game, and there are some things worth checking out, because this is like like I said in the start of this episode, this is the granddaddy of atmospheric games, and a lot of people love this game, but I personally didn't like it too much. I'm very torn on whether like some of the goods outweigh the bad, or some of the bads outweigh the good. So that's just my opinion anyway. So there we have it. There is my opinion on Journey for another buy or buy episode. If you like this episode, then please like, comment and subscribe, and share this video around if you want, and I'll see you next time for whatever I do next. Take care. Bye for now.